Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the latest polling roundup from the Gavin Partridge YouTube channel. So we are now less than 36 hours away from polls opening. Yes, we are almost at the 2024 UK general election, and we've got a couple more polling roundups to do. We're going to do this one for you right now, and there'll be a final eve of polling roundup. That will be absolutely epic. There'll be polls galore dropping tomorrow as all of the pollsters put in their final eve of polls. So tomorrow's polling round will be a true epic. But we have got plenty to be getting on with for this polling roundup. I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that if you're enjoying the vlogs on the channel at the moment, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much to that. The most recent polling roundup videos have been getting like 4,000 or 5,000 views. Thank you so much, everybody, for embracing these videos. I'm so pleased seem to be enjoying the content. Right, well, let's do this then. Let's have a look at these Eve of Eve polls. Right, so we're going to start off with Redfield and Wilton. This is their final poll of the 2024 general election. There will not be any more polls coming from Redfield and Wilton. It's a bang up to date. Sample size is 20,000, and it was conducted from 28th of June to the 2nd of July to today. Now, let's go through the numbers then. So, sorry everybody. They have found the Conservatives on 22%, Labour on 41%, Liberal Democrats on 10%, SNP on 3%, Greens on 6%, and Reform on 16%. And that's an overall Labour lead of 19%. How does that compare to the previous Redfield and Wilton poll? Let's see. We can find it was just here. They released that, I think they released one yesterday, didn't they? With the poll being conducted from 26th of June to 27th of June. And I wonder why it was, so far back that the poll was conducted, and the reason, I suppose, is that this poll has been in the works, their final election poll. Anyway, for the last Redfield Wilton poll, which was yesterday, they found the Conservatives there on 19%. So the Conservatives have gone up 3 there. Labour have gone down 1 from 42 to 41%. Liberal Democrats have gone down 1 from 11 to 10%. Greens and SNP are unchanged. SNP 3. Oh, Greens are up 1 actually. Greens have gone from 5 to 6%. And Reform, quite a drop for Reform as well. They're down 2. The overall Labour lead is down 4 with Redfield and Wilton from 23% to 19% there. So we see signs of a little bit of movement from Labour, but particularly perhaps from Reform to the Conservatives there with Redfield and Wilton. You remember Redfield and Wilton have been one of the pollsters that has had the Conservatives and Reform either neck and neck and sometimes Reform ahead, but now we see a pretty solid gap opening up actually between the Conservatives and between Reform. So Reform, the gap is, what is that, 6%, isn't it? 16, 22%. Maths was never my strong point, but I think that is a 16, yes. 6%. 6%. You can just imagine me going with my fingers, can't you? That's a 6%. I don't want to give anybody false data. That's a 6% gap now between Reform and Conservative. So definitely, with Redfield and Wilton anyway, we're seeing a little bit of movement from Reform to the Conservatives. Right, so that's that one done. There has also been, we'll come back to that, there has also been a techne poll that's been released. That's not been placed into the wiki table yet, so we got to come here. This is to the Independent. This technical poll is for the Independent. Their headline is "Shoot That Poll Bump, Too Little Too Late as Tories face devastating wipeout." I'll link to this in the description. But I can actually show you what the poll is suggesting. So they have got, this is the final technical poll, by the way. It won't be another poll from techne, so this is their last poll of the election. They've got Labour on 40%. Conservatives on 21%. They have got Reform on 16%, Liberal Democrats on 11%, Greens on 6%, and SNP on 3%. So how does that compare with the previous techne poll? The previous techne poll had Labour on 41%, so Labour are down 1. Conservatives were on 19%, they're now on 21%, so Conservatives were up 2. Liberal Democrats were on 12%, they are now on 11% with techne, that's Liberal Democrats down 1. What about Reform? There they are. So Reform were on 17%. In the last techne poll, they're now on 16%, Reform are down 1. And we see the Greens going up to, let's see, Greens are up 1, 5%, 6%, and it looks like the SNP are unchanged at 3%. So Greens are up 1, Conservatives up 2, everybody else is down, Labour, Liberal Democrats, and also Reform are down slightly on the previous techne poll. Now, we have had a Survation MRP poll. This is the final MRP poll from Survation of this general election, but they will be issuing a standard voting intention poll tomorrow, which will be their final poll of the election. But this is how the Survation MRP is looking in terms of the numbers. They have got Conservatives on 23%, Labour are on 14%. 2%. They have got Liberal Democrats on 11%. They've got the SNP on 2%. They have got the Greens on 5%. And they've got Reform on 11%. And it's an overall Labour lead with this MRP poll of 19% compared to the previous MRP poll. The Conservatives are down from 25-23%. Labour are unchanged on 42%. Liberal Democrats are down 1 from 11% to 10%, SNP unchanged on 2%, Greens unchanged on 5%, and Reform unchanged on 11%. The overall Labour lead is up from 17% to 19%. But how does that work out in terms of seats? Because you remember, MRP is a model where the pollsters feed their raw data into their model and create a seat-based forecast, on a seat-by-seat basis, looking at individual voter demographics. And this is how that MRP is looking in terms of the seat numbers. So they are saying, Survation with their final MRP of the general election, are saying Labour are 99% certain to win more seats than in 1997. 1997 was an extraordinary election result. They are saying Labour will are on course to win 400. Oh, sorry, everybody, 484 seats, but Conservatives and Liberal Democrats are in a close race to form the official opposition. So the numbers look like this. Labour with 484 seats, the Conservatives just holding on to official opposition status with 64 seats. The Liberal Democrats, though, chasing up their heels and only 3 behind on 61 seats. The SNP having a catastrophic result and going down just 10 seats. So Conservatives and Liberal Democrats both having a bad time of it. Reform gets 7 seats. Plaid Cymru get 3 seats. And Greens get 3 seats. As well. I believe, I tried to work out what the majority is there. I think the majority for Labour is something like 318 seats. Absolutely extraordinary, and would be, I might be wrong on that, I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me if I am, but it's a very large majority for Labour. Would be, I think, the biggest majority in British political history. They interviewed 34,558 people online and on the phone. The only point I'll make about this, it is something we see with MRP, but it's a little bit of uncertainty, is that it has a very long dates conducted time frame. So this is from the 15th of June to the 1st of July. Just bear that in mind, but some of the raw data for that poll would be conducted like a couple of weeks ago, but nevertheless it is a devastating poll for the Conservatives. If they are anywhere like 64 seats and battling it out with the Liberal Democrats for who could form the official opposition, then there could be all kinds of seats falling that you would not expect to see falling for the Conservatives. And Labour, as I say, on an absolutely extraordinarily high number of 484 seats. You need 500 seats, and I think over 300 seat majority. So let's have a quick look at the polling graph, and then we shall get things wrapped up. So that's how it's looking. As we said last night, we still see Labour down in their trend line. Conservatives are ticking up in their trend line. Despite MRP, I think there is a little swing back that's going on to the Conservatives, mainly from Reform. I think Reform trend line ticking down. So I think you're seeing a little bit of Reform to Conservatives going on, and probably a few don't knows are firming up for the Conservatives as well. But it is really too little, too late for the Conservatives to prevent anything other than let's say a very bad result. It might be catastrophic, it could be oblivion, and it might be complete total wipeout. Liberal Democrats are pretty static. Their rise has sort of levelled off. Greens are down slightly, but still doing quite well for them. And as far as the SNP are concerned, they are not really moving a great deal with their train line. Right, so there we go. Let's just refresh page, see if any more polls have popped up. I doubt they have. I think everybody else will be waiting until tomorrow. Yeah, everybody else waited tomorrow, I think. So I think that's it. There might be, you never know. There's so many polls coming out at the moment, you just never know whether the next poll is going to be released. So there could be more turning up, over the next hour or two. If there are, of course, we'll cover that in tomorrow's polling roundup video. But that's it for this polling roundup video. Anyway, that means that there's just one more to go that will be releasing tomorrow. That's probably going to be quite late, I think. I would expect that to be appearing after 10 p.m. and it'll be a long one as well. It could go on to like 20 minutes or so. There'll be loads and loads of data. I know there's at least one YouGov MRP poll that's being dropped tomorrow, and there will be loads and loads of regular voting intention polls appearing tomorrow, as well as all the pollsters trying to get their final, their final shot in for this general election. But there we go. That's it for this polling round. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we'll be back tomorrow with the final eve of polling roundup. And I shall see you for that one. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.